Fuji hears the sounds and he immediately goes for the blanket. Gotta get him all comfortable. Hi, everybody. Happy Tuesday. Happy summer solstice. Happy planetary alignment. What is it, like 6 planets, 5 planets visible in the night sky? I think June 24th. How many amazing cosmic happenings have we been able to experience in our lifetime so far? It just seems like there's always this planetary alignment and something cosmic happening that has never happened before or hasn't happened in thousands of years. And we are here for that, my friends. We are here for that. Okay. And you know, excuse me for all the barking. Someone just rang the doorbell. Another alignment. Some alignments work in our favor and some seem to work against us. But all is as it should be. Every month it seems, yeah. Okay, well, let me know who's here. Say hi. Let me know where you're tuning in from. And let me know if you've been feeling all the huge changes that have been happening. It's been coming through. I remember, just a couple of weeks ago when I was doing June's monthly activation, I felt big changes. And I was talking to someone yesterday, and it really feels like it's at like a structural level, like at the level of our DNA. Big fundamental vibrational changes to who we are, big internal changes. Now, we've been in this state of receiving a lot of light, a lot of plasma, a lot of information from the world around us, from the cosmos. And this light influences our personal light, our individual light, and we're responding to these vibrations, to this music, to this information. And it's this awakening process. And I feel like we're constantly being called to become who we really are. That we can no longer, sit back in our own lives. That we have to take responsibility and show up for ourselves. And the more that we resist these internal urges and desires and longings and awakenings, the more challenging it will be, right? What you resist persists. And these changes can feel uncomfortable. And it's like we've been in this pressure cooker, some longer than others, and some maybe the pressure isn't as intense or the pressure releases. But each time we're feeling that squeeze, it's like a squeeze. It's this feeling of unease. It's this feeling of discomfort in the body. It's this place where you just can't rest. You can't settle. You can't create in the way that you're used to, perhaps. It's this urging of growth. The pressure is urging you to grow to the next version of you, to be the next level of who you are. You're outgrowing yourself. When you feel that pressure, you've reached an edge of yourself, of the way you've been thinking, of the way you've been feeling, of the way you've been behaving. And it doesn't work in resonance and in harmony with where life is taking you, where life is taking all of us, but where your heart is taking you. It's not congruent with that, and you come up against your edge. And now we have 2 ways that we can, meet those edges within ourselves, right? So when you touch something hot, what's your first you pull back, right? So we all have these ways of meeting these uncomfortable feelings. Some of us might recoil, we might react, we might pull away, we might disconnect. We have these coping mechanisms that we've cultivated from an early age, which has been meant to protect us. So we're coming up against this pressure. We're being asked to grow, right? Instead of thinking of it as this um, difficulty, think of it as being asked to grow. You're being asked to grow. Let me share with you the drawing because it does speak to these messages. Okay, let me bring it up. There we go. So I posted the image in the group so you had time to look at it, but here it is again. And I always welcome your shares and reflections on what you see. So ready for a change, but why wait? Change starts with you. Expansion and growth. Yeah, you saw that in the picture, huh? Yeah, for sure. So change starts with you. Ready for a change, but why wait? Sometimes, I'm sure we've all come, hi mom. I'm sure we, think about those moments when you're like, okay, I'm kind of over this situation. I'm wanting something new. I'm ready for a change. But are you the type of person who takes the initiative and you start making the changes for yourself, or you kind of wait until your world around you begins to make it so you have to make the change and there's no other alternative? Or maybe you've been in both situations before. Right? It's like, the world comes knocking, tap, 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 and you're noticing, okay, here it is, but I'm just going to stick it out. Not going to make any changes right now. This is really where I want to be, even though, things are tapping on the door. And then all of a sudden, it's like the big bad wolf comes blowing your house down and you have to move, right? So changes are happening and they're going to be happening a lot more quickly and they're going to be uprooting a lot more. Okay. So how we meet the way that life is showing up for us is really in your power. You have all the power you need. You are not in a place of being subject to the world happening to you. Okay. You have the ability to meet life in the way that you choose. You get to respond to it or you can react to it. I am inviting you now to choose to respond to it, to choose to take the action that you need in an inspired and responsive way so you're not caught off guard. Okay, so notice what's showing up in your world and respond appropriately to those messages. Don't take these taps on the door lightly. Take them seriously. I can't stress that enough. Take them seriously. Do what you need to do to take care of yourself. Okay? These changes are coming whether you want them to or not. It's part of this big shift of awareness that is happening. But it is up to you to take care of yourself. Only you can take care of yourself, and you can obviously be the one to take care of the ones around you. Share what you're receiving, share what you're seeing with others, and then let them make up their mind. You can be the tap on the door for someone else. But we all know that the big bad wolf is blowing the house down, and it will be very soon if you haven't seen it already. And so it is time to get your belongings together, get things together, be prepared for this big change that is already upon us, my friends. We've known about this for centuries. Okay, this is not new for those who have been paying attention to the signs, who are familiar with some of the indigenous prophecies and the Mayan calendar, and just paying attention to the world around you and what's happening. Okay, so notice what you're feeling. Do not discount what you're getting. Do not discount your intuition. Listen to your body, okay? Your body knows the way. This discomfort that you're feeling is the motivation that you need to take the steps necessary to prepare and take care of yourself and your family and your loved ones, okay? Do not get swept, away with the floods that are coming. Okay, you can float, you can swim, you can build your own ark. Okay, change is here, and you've been ready for a change. Okay, when you look back on moments of big changes in your life, if you take the time to contemplate, most of the time, you'll probably find an inception point where you had actually were ready for that to happen, but you weren't ready to initiate that. It is coming whether you want it or not. You can take steps now to be the change. Okay, it starts with you. So when you know what you want, you can start thinking, being, feeling that in ways that are in alignment with the change that you seek, and you can create the world that you want to be in. Okay, so you are not subject to the world then begins to flow through you and from you. Okay, so this is a big pivot in awareness. So we want to pay attention to what's happening in the world, but we also want to take responsibility for our part in creating our own world. Okay, because everything that we experience is a direct result of the vibration, the dominant vibration that we have, that we are, that we emanate. We are creating simultaneously as experiencing this world that we're in. Okay, and collectively we have, we come to a terms on an agreement that we have to a world we're creating together. But each of you have the power to create the world you want to be in and feed the collective consciousness to the level of light and vibration that is happening. And we are tasked with that responsibility. Okay, if you're here, your mission is something to do with that in whatever way it comes through you, right? It is to bring awareness to yourself. It is to claim the power that you have been bestowed as your birthright to create and seed this world with that level of consciousness that you are destined to anchor into this planet at this time. Solstice, summer solstice messages. Okay. So don't wait for another and don't wait for yourself. Just do, just be. Okay. Don't wait for another. Kind of just touched on that before. Don't wait for another. So you have no choice and you're already backed into a corner and then you have to make a decision. Sometimes, sometimes we do that, and that's okay. But here, I'm just reminding you that the time is now. If you're feeling that, then start exploring that. What can I do now? How do I need to be now? What do I want to feel? Because I know that my feeling is a creative power. And what I feel is creating. Now, what I'm feeling is the dominant feeling is what's creating. So a lot of times those feelings are beneath our awareness. They're subliminal, they're subconscious, and you're still creating at that level. So how do you know? You see what's going on in your world. So if you see that things are topsy-turvy in your world, you're having conflicts, or you're just not feeling right, or you're more emotional than usual, you're having accidents, you're getting sick, whatever it is, that's the dominant vibration. So you can use that outer world as a mirror and a reflection to show you where your dominant vibration is. And then you can choose in that moment to feel into the feeling you want to have. Okay. So many ideas, you get distracted and lose focus. Get quiet, breathe, listen. Listen for the one that rings your bell, right? If you're anything like me, like I'm getting ideas all the time of things I want to do, things I'd love to do, things I could do, and I write them down. Maybe it's something that I'm going to do later on. I can't do it all right now. And then I just listen. And, it's like I heard this little bell, like out of all of those things that you're getting, listen to the one thing that rings your bell. Okay. So if you're getting inundated with distractions, perhaps, or ideas, which can be a distraction in itself, listen for the one thing that rings your bell. Begin to discipline your own mind. Okay, so distractions are a nice way of not moving forward, of staying stuck, of keeping you where you are. Okay, so begin to notice when your mind starts taking you to other places. Okay, and when you recognize that, bring it back, and bring it back. Okay, bring it back to the one thing that you're focusing on, that you want to do, that you're accomplishing, that you're creating. Okay, so recognize that the distractions are there to keep you stuck. It's actually a way to protect you. Okay, so most of these things that keep us from growing are those aspects of ourselves that are actually there trying to take care of you and trying to keep you safe. And they're doing the best that they can to do that. But what happens is you have the part that's trying to keep you safe, and then you're feeling the pressure being asked to grow. And then what happens? You get friction, right? And you get this inner tension, and that can cause a lot of dissonance in your field in the way that the energy moves through you. And that can create a whole host of problems, whether it's physical, emotional, or something that you experience in your outer world. Okay. So, do you really want change, or do you want comfort? Do you really want change, or do you want comfort? And we've been asking for change. We've been asking for change. And now that change is upon us, do you really want it? Or do you really just want comfort? Your comfort isn't even comfortable. So, what your concept of comfort is and what you feel is comfortable, is it really comfortable? Probably not, because you're not really able to be at ease in your own body, most likely, in what I'm tracking. So your comfort isn't even comfortable. It's the illusion of safety. It's the familiar. It's the known. So what happens with change, what it activates what? Our fear of the unknown, right? So then we want to protect ourselves from what we don't know. But what do we really know? What do we really know? So your comfort isn't even comfortable. It's the illusion of safety. It's familiar, it's known. But does the caterpillar know its true beauty? Do you? Time to change. So all of these feelings and changes that we're experiencing are really just inviting you to grow into who you really are, to be who you really are, to be you naturally, to be you authentically, free to be you and me. That's my theme song the last couple of months. Free to be you and me. You get to be who you are. And when you're not living life in accordance with who you naturally are, then the source energy that moves through you gets distorted, because then you begin living to how you think you should be and who you think you should be. And all of these conditions that you've placed upon yourself or have been placed upon you. And you end up distorting that energy of who you really are as it flows through you to be expressed uniquely according to your design and to your heart and to your blueprint. And it gets distorted. And when that source energy begins to get distorted as it flows through you, you are energetic being. Okay, you have meridians, you have chi that flows through your body through 12 main channels and a lot more than that, but 12 primary channels. And when those are distorted, what happens? You get agitated, you get irritated, you get angry, you get digestive troubles, you get sick easily, you get headaches, right? You get edema, you get backaches, you have financial problems, you have family problems. Okay, it doesn't just affect your physical body; it infects and affects your entire life. So, when you begin to live in accordance with your design, with your heart carries the blueprint of your mission here on earth. It knows your deepest desires and it knows how to get you there. When you live in accordance with your rhythm, with your nature, with your desires, with your heart, then what happens? Then that energy flows through unobstructed and you begin to live a life of freedom, whatever that means to you. Freedom from pain, financial freedom, uh, you know, freedom to be you and me. Okay, whatever that looks like to you. Then you're living in accordance with your natural design. There are a lot of really beautiful maps that give you a lot of detail into that. If you want to read up on that, there's human design, there's the gene keys, there's all the astrology maps, all different types of things that you can use as different reflections to understand yourself better. And you can feel how you feel. That's going to give you the best insight. That's going to give you the best insight. Start paying attention to how you feel in your body. Okay, so let's just check in. We have a few more minutes to do that. And I really just want to give you a chance to check in with how you feel in your body so we can begin to restore this harmony and this flow that moves through you so you can embrace the change. And when you begin to allow that and not resist the change that's happening, then your world does not get disrupted hardly at all. Or if it does, you have the ability to bring it back on track very easily. Very easily. I had a situation last week where it was very uncomfortable, and I was with a neighbor actually, and it didn't go quite the way I expected. I'm not one to confront somebody, but I was very offended by their behavior and the way that they were treating our plants. And I went out there, and all I wanted to say was, just ask, just ask. Came out all wrong, right? And then my neighbor got defensive. And all I did to remedy that situation is it was, I just realized, what did I want? Okay. It was a very uncomfortable situation and I wanted it to change. Okay. That was a change I wanted. I wanted it to be I wanted it to have happened differently than it did. And I went in and I felt the change that I wanted. I felt what I wanted to have happened. And I kid you not, and I was able to really release the emotional charge around the situation and let it go. Yesterday, he came to the door with a plant and offering of forgiveness, and he was able to see things from my perspective, which was one of the things that I had wanted. Okay, so if we can't do these things ourselves in the way that we're interacting with people, how do we expect people on a global level to get along if we can't do that ourselves? Okay. And I took responsibility for my creation of that. I took responsibility and accepted that creation in my world, and that there was something there that I needed to do for myself. And I was able to create a different experience just by going inside and feeling what it is I wanted to feel. Okay, so there was a change that I was ready for, and I was the one who made the change just by feeling into it, and then it showed up in my world. Okay, and then I met the situation accordingly, and I welcomed it. Okay, we were all that powerful. If there's a situation that you have recently had that you didn't go the way you want, you have the power to revise that for yourself and change it into something that you do want by feeling into what you do want. And then let it go and see what happens. I did not expect him to show up at the door. Okay. But it was pretty amazing. So let's feel into the resistance that you might be feeling in your life somewhere. And where is that in your body? Maybe you've been ruminating with something. There's something brewing within. There's something uncomfortable, right? We're talking about dealing with uncomfortable situations and how we change that. Okay, we're ready for the change. We're ready to change what's uncomfortable for us. Beautiful. Okay, now that you have that, put your hand where that is on your body so your body knows that you've connected with that. So all this indicates is your body is actually holding the information for that experience. Okay, this is where that primary vibration for that discomfort is right now. It's probably in other places, but where you are attracted to is where that is most prominent. And that's all we need to know. Beautiful. Oh, I've got Ho'oponopono. I've got forgiveness coming in for this. Okay, so let's do a beautiful forgiveness practice. Who wants to play? Someone over here wants to play. Okay. Woo! I had a dream the other day that this bowl broke, and when it cracked open, gold dust kept coming out of all the broken edges. Fortunately, in the dream, it broke in a way that it could be repaired, but it was quite shocking nonetheless. But this is the one who wants to help us create space. So just connect with the body where you're feeling that uncomfortable feeling, that resistance to change. And maybe you know what it's related to, and maybe you don't. And I'm just going to invite in the frequency of forgiveness at the same time while we're doing this. So we're just going to allow that high frequency, that psychic cleanser, it's like a spiritual sage, forgiveness, to kind of come into the field here and touch you at that place. Within. There we go. There we go. I just feel a lot of release of emotion right there. Beautiful. So feel again the feeling. There's a big shift, but feel the feeling of the resistance, the discomfort, the uncomfortable feeling that you have, whatever it is. Now, how would you like that to feel? How would you like that to feel? And let's just stay with the feeling. Sometimes when I ask a question, I can hear and I get a lot of like verbal responses, and you start thinking about it. And that's great, but that takes us out of the feeling body. So just feel into the way you want it to feel. Find the feeling that feels comfortable to you, that feels peaceful to you, that feels harmonious to you, that feels free, that feels joyful, that feels confident, that feels secure, whatever the feeling is. Now I'm giving you words, but the words are really just a placeholder for the actual feeling, which is like the ice underneath the iceberg, right? The rest of the iceberg. The word is the tip of the iceberg. There we go. So how would you like to feel? You know, if you've been suffering from neck aches or headaches lately, and, you know, it's just been overwhelming and overbearing, how would you prefer to feel? What is the preferred feeling here? What is the change that you want to feel? And how does that change feel? There you go. And stay with the feeling. And breathe. What happens is we begin to hold our breath as soon as we connect with that feeling. And when we hold our breath, we stifle the movement. And when energy is moving through you harmoniously, it continues to move. It doesn't stop. It's in the stopping of that natural movement, of that natural flow, where all the discomfort occurs, where the pain occurs, where the resistance is. So breathe and feel at the same time now. It's like walking and chewing gum. Breathe and feel at the same time. There you go. Yeah, and in that, you're just bringing awareness and vitality and life force to that area. Now, change is the only constant, right? The I Ching. This is a fundamental truth. Change is the only constant. So now, see how you can be with the change in this part of your body. There might be a tendency to, grip or hold or resist again, and that's okay. Just notice it and continue to feel into the feeling that you want to have. Feel into the change you desire. Feel into the change you desire and breathe. And continue to breathe with the change, because the change is constant. Breathe with the constant change as it moves you and with you and through you and for you. There you go. Now I see you swimming. You guys were kind of like doggy paddling before in the waters of your being. Now you're swimming. Okay, so just kind of gently move the body around now and see how that feels. My neck just popped, which is a good sign. I've opened up something, right? And notice how you feel in your body now. Okay, so this is a really simple way. I just want to clear the rest of this before I finish. There's still a lot going on. There we go. Okay. That might come across, I don't know how it's going to come across on the speaker. It's loud here, but I just wanted to clear some of that energy that was still getting stuck and wanted to just help it move a little bit more. You guys did great. So this is a really simple way for you to continue to learn how to be with change and be the change. Okay, be the change. Change is constant. So when you are the change, you are constantly moving with life. You're moving with life. You're letting life move through you. There's an openness to it. There's not a resistance. And in that movement with life, you have everything you need to take care of yourself because you are aligned with your heart and you are aligned with your creative power. And you are in control of the way you respond to what life brings you. And you've always got your own back. And you're swimming. Okay, dear ones, thank you for joining me today on this special summer solstice weekly moment of inner alchemy. Let me know what you noticed. Let me know how you're feeling. Share with me any of your experiences. And I will be diving into the how to take care of your vibrational health a little bit more deeply in a few weeks. I'm putting the finishing touches on this new workshop for you guys, and I'm really excited to share it. It's still macerating and gestating within me, and it's coming through. And I'm excited to, hold space for you to connect with your power in taking care of your vibrational health. Because when you do that for yourself, you're taking care of your world. Okay, dear ones, blessings. Thank you for coming together with me to harmonize the nature of oneself, and I wish you a beautiful day.